Here's the deal, guys. As you can see over here, I put a poll up for my chat to get an idea of what their thoughts were from, I would argue, one of the most controversial parts of the Spanish GP. A fantastic race, but at the end of the day, there was one point that stood out to me as being a not a not great moment, because I actually agree with it. That's a little spoiler for y'all, but a moment that caused some controversy between a lot of fans, and it was the moment where Red Bull told Max to go by Checo, and where they told Checo to let Max go by. So, current votes: 13 for yes, 8 for no. I'm gonna give you my thoughts, and then we'll hear chat's thoughts in just a second. At the end of the day, it feels unfortunate. It feels like something that you should be able to easily say, hey, like, let them race. You know, at Jeddah, Alpine let their drivers race, and it was great. And you're right, it is great. It is great to see drivers race. But at the end of the day, someone made a great Twitter post about the times after Max pitted, so before he passed him, lap 46, 47, and 48, and then 49 when the switch happened. And I'm going to read you these times. It's from F1 to rule them all. Lap 46, Checo, 126.8, Max, 125.4. Lap 47, Checo, 127.1, Max, 125.7. Lap 48, Checo, 126.9, Max, 125.7. Lap 49, the switch happened. So he was obviously faster, and I think everyone watching could see that he was faster. At that point, they were on different strategies. Checo was still technically on a one-stop at that point, and Max was on a two-stop. If you want Checo to do the one-stop, you can't have them racing, because it's going to ruin Checo's tires. That at that point, I know they changed the strategy later on, but at that point, they were supposed to go to the end of the race. So yes, I agree with it, and not only do I agree with it, I think it was the smartest decision, honestly. I think it's the decision that it made the most sense. You don't want a Mercedes incident. You don't want a Nico Lewis incident where they crash each other out by accident. That is not what you want. And at the end of the day, yes, would it be cool to see them racing? Yes, but you put Checo's podium position at risk. You put Max at risk. And it is as much as F1 is an individual sport of individual drivers, at the end of the day, it is more so, unfortunately, a team sport. Yes, I understand that feeling bad for Checo. It's not a thing that feels good. And I think Checo was validated and was completely in his right to say, we will talk later. I think that is one of the things why I respect the hell out of Checo, is that he might not agree with the team's decision, but he's going to obey the team orders, but he's going to be very clear, hey, I am frustrated a little bit, and we're going to talk about this later. Now, at the end of the day, I think when you look at the day and everything, there's not much that he can say. When you're almost 2 seconds faster, it's like, just let the man by. Honestly, he's going to pass you with DRS if the DRS actually opens easily. Now, yeah, obviously Max does have a better chance of the title, and that was one of the biggest factors. I would have loved to see him race. I think it would have been really cool to see them race. And at the end of the day, I think I agree with Issa that the frustration from Max at that point was it was so high from the DRS that he could have made some kind of desperate move and crashed them both out, honestly. And at the end of the day, if you say it wasn't fair for Checo, I guess I can see where you're coming from, but also if you look at the data, Max was so much faster, and then if you watch, Max took off into the sunset. It was like a few laps later, and he had like an 8-second lead over Checo. So obviously, it was the right call. You know, it was kind of like, it was kind of like when drivers will, you know, are kind of stuck behind a car, and they'll be like, hey, I can make the overtake, you know, let me by, I'll try to make the overtake. If not, then we'll switch back. For this bullshit. What bullshit, Mariana? There's no bullshit. And we never saw Max again. Now, I will say, what did annoy me a little bit is when they were stuck behind Charles, whoever they were stuck behind at one point, and it was Max trying to get by, and he couldn't because his DRS wasn't working, and he was getting frustrated. and then Checo was very close behind, and Checo wanted to get by. I think that was fair, honestly. It was Russell. Thank you. It was Russell. I think that would have been fair to switch them and see what Checo could have done. At the end of the day, I think that one was a bit rough. Red Bull should have let them, do a little swap there, and then, see what Checo could have done. Because I think with DRS, Checo probably could have gotten the overtake done at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, again, Formula 1 is a team sport more than it is an individual sport. As much as we, as fans, want it to be an individual sport, it is a team sport at the end of the day, The teams don't get paid out more where their drivers are in the driver's standings. They get paid out for the constructor standings, which again it is unfortunate in some ways, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure you are getting max amount of points, which is exactly what Red Bull did. They got the max amount of points that weekend, which is great to see. It was great to see Red Bull 1-2 on top of the podium. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Feel free to leave a comment below what your thoughts were, if you agree, if you disagree. Couldn't care less if you disagree, honestly. I don't care. But let me know below. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Dude, we got a little YouTube video that we're gonna post now. Yeah.